Everyone, today I will read Harry Potter Chapter 3, The Pearl. Pearl là đào hang. Ron bribed Harry creeping to the window and pushing it up so they could talk through the bars. Ron, how did you wonder? Harry's mouth fell open as full effect of what he was saying hit him. Ron was leaning out of the back window of an old towards car was parked in middle, grinning at Harry from the front seat, where Fred and George Ron out the twin brother twin có nghĩa là sinh đôi. Alright, Harry asked George, what's been going on? Say Ron, why haven't you been answering my letter? Have asked you to stay about 12 times and then Dad come home and say you got an official warning for using magic in front of Muggle. It was me. And how did he know? He works for the ministry. Ron, you know we are not supposed to do spell outside school. You should talk. Say Harry, staring at the floating car. Oh, this doesn't count, say Ron. We are only borrowing. It's that we didn't enchant it. But doing magic in front of those muggles you live with. I told you I didn't. But I will take too long to explain. Look. Can you tell them at Hogwarts that Dursley have locked me up and won't let me go back? And wisely, I can't magic myself out because the minister. I think that's the second spell I have done in 3 days. So stop whispering, say Ron. We have come to take you home with us, but you can't magic me out either. We don't need to, say Ron, jerking his head toward the front seat and grinning. You forget who have got with me. Tie that around the paw, say Fred, throwing the end of a rope to Harry. If the Dursley wake up, I'm dead, said Harry as he tied the rope tightly around a paw and Fred revolved the car. Don't worry, said Fred, and stand back. Harry moved back into the shadow next to Hedwig, to seem to have realized how important this was and kept still in silence. Silence có nghĩa là im lặng. Important có nghĩa là quan trọng. The car reversed louder and suddenly. With a crunchy noise, the parts were pulling out of the window as Fred drove straight up in the air. Harry ran back to the window to see the parts dangling a few feet above the ground. Panting, Ron hoisted them up into the car, Harry listening and Cecily. But there was no sound from the Dursley bedroom. Then, when the pair were safely in backseat with Ron, Fred reversed as close as possible to Harry's window. Get it, Ron said, but all my Hogwarts stuff. My wand, my broomstick. Where is it? Look in the cupboard under the stairs, and I can't get out of this room. No problem, said George from the front passenger seat. Passenger seat là ghế khách. Out of the way, Harry. Fred and George climbed Cataline through the window into Harry's room. You had to hand it to them, thought Harry, as George took an ordinary hairpin from his pocket and started to pick the lock. A lot of wizard things is one waste of time knowing this sort of Muggle trick, said Harry, but we feel They are skills worth learning, even if they are a bit slow. There was a small click, and the door swung open. So we will go get your trunk. You grab anything you need from room and hand it out to Ron. Whisperously rejoiced. What out of the Potter stair is great, Harry Potter whispered back as the twins disappeared onto the dark landing. Harry dashed around his room, collecting his things and passing them out of the window to Ron. Then he went to have Fred and George heave his trunk up the stair. Harry heard Uncle Vernon cough at last, panting the ridge landing. They carried the trunk through Harry's rooms to open window. Fred climbed back into the car to pull with Ron and Harry, and George pushed from the bedroom side. Inch by inch, the trunk slid through the window. Uncle Vernon coughed again, a bit more pain. Fred, who was pulling from the inside the car, one good push. Harry and George threw their shoulder against the trunk and slid out of the window into the back seat of the car. Okay, let's go, George whispering. But as Harry climbed onto the windowsill, there came a sudden loud screech from behind, followed immediately by the thunder of Uncle Vernon's voice. That Rudy Owl! I have forgotten Hagrid. Harry tore back across the room as landing light clicked on. He snatched off Hagrid's cage, dashed to the window, and buzzed out to Ron. We were scrambling back onto the chest of drawers when Uncle Vernon hammered on the unlocked door. It crashed open. For a split second, Uncle Vernon stood framed in the doorway. Then he let out a pillow lie on her. Henry pulled and dived at Harry, grabbing him by the ankle. Ron, Fred, and George seized Harry's arm and pulled it as hard as they could. Petunia roared Uncle Vernon. He's getting away! He's getting away! But the Weasley have entered, and Harry slid out of Uncle Vernon's grasp. Harry was in the car. He then slammed it. The door shut. Put your foot down, Fred, yelled Ron, and the car shot suddenly toward the moon. Harry could believe it. He was free. He rolled down the window, the night air whipping his hair, and looked back at the shrinking rooftops of Bribeg Drive. Uncle Vernon and Petunia and Darling were hanging dumbstruck out of Harry's window. See you next summer, Harry yelled. The Weasley roared with laughter, and Harry fell back in his seat, grinning from ear to ear. Watch out, he told Ron. She can fly behind us. She hasn't had a chance to spread her wings for ages. George handed the hammer to Ron, and a moment later Hagrid soared joyfully out of the window to glide alongside them like a ghost. So what's the story, Harry? Said Ron impatiently. What's been happened? Harry told all about Dobby the warning he did given Harry and the physical of the violet pudding. There was a long, shocked silence. Very fishy, said Fred Fox. Definitely Donny at George, so he wouldn't even tell you who's supposed to blotting out the stuff. I don't think he could say, Harry. I told you every time he got close to letting something slip, he started banging his head against the wall. He saw Fred and George look at each other. What, you think he was lying to me? Said Harry. Who, well, however,